Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Where is Mr. Brian? And where am I today? Well, I'm at a place where you can rent canoes and paddle boats. There's some fun playgrounds, a nice restaurant that you can go eat at, and a lot of awesome trails to go and hike. And that location happens to be the Cumberland Mountain State Park. I'm standing down here at the paddle boat docks, and the reason why we're here today is I'm going to start something a little bit different. This is going to be a seasonal series that we're going to be looking at now. And since it's a beautiful autumn day when I'm filming this, we're going to talk about why the leaves change and the names of the colors that you see. Now, after we've discussed that, I'm going to use the GoPro, and the rest of the video is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to have any experiments to go through today. We're mainly going to be, I'm going to be taking you on a hike with me as we hike around the lake. And the video will be sped up a lot, so you're not just sitting and watching the whole thing. But I'll also make sure that if I see some of the colors that we talk about, I'll take a little bit of time and we'll look at it and address it again as a reminder that this is this color and so on. And then later on, for those that maybe have a treadmill or a Peloton or some other sort of device, I will put up the full real-time hike video. That way that you can just watch that at your leisure. Now, it won't have all the ambient noise and everything. I'll go ahead and take that out and add the same music I put in the other video. But this should be a lot of fun and something a little bit different. So, why do the leaves change color? Well, the majority of the leaves that we have around here are what are known as deciduous trees. Deciduous trees are trees that go dormant in the fall and then they drop or lose their leaves. So think of it kind of like the tree's version of hibernation, like you hear about bears and other animals doing during the cold and winter months. Now, most of the time when we see the trees, we see the green in the leaves, and that green comes from chlorophyll, and they use the chlorophyll to help make their food. Now, some of the other colors are always there too, but usually during the rest of the year, we see so much of the chlorophyll, we don't get to see the other colors. Among those other colors, we have the keratins or keratin, which are the oranges, just like the name says, keratin. That's the same thing that gives us the orange in the carrots. And also, and probably my favorite word of any of the colors that we have, xanthophyll, which is the yellow and gold colors that we see. And those are always present, but again, in the spring and especially summer, so much chlorophyll is there we don't get to see those. Now, when we get to the reds and to a little bit purples, those are the anthocyanins, and they come in the fall when the chlorophyll is stopping and it's getting broken down, and it's kind of the glucose or the sugar that the tree is producing is breaking down the leaf. That is when we see our reds and sometimes even a hint of purples, again the anthocyanins. And then our other group of colors that we see are our browns and coppers and everything, and those are our tannins. And yes, just like the word implies, tannins, we have, tan, the brown, like if you tan in the summertime, through the melanin in our skin and all that kind of stuff. We'll look at the tannin here. So be looking for all these colors as we go and we are hiking around, and I'll have the camera angled up to where we can see the trees as we go through and look and count and see in your own yard. I would love to know if you come in and tell me in the children's library, what do you have the most of colors in your yard? Like I can tell you in my yard right now, I do have some xanthophyll, I do have some gold, but I mainly have a lot of tannins because I have a lot of oaks in my yard. And so I see a lot of the coppers and the browns right now. So I hope you guys have enjoyed learning about why the leaves change and what the actual scientific names of each of the colors are. And now let's go and enjoy our hike. Okay, let's go on a hike. Okay, I'm panning the camera around right now, so you can see there's the paddle boat dock, and that was over where we were filming the intro, and we'll finish the trail up over there too. So now let's go back and continue our hike. Here are some excellent examples of the tannins, or the shades of the color brown, that we can see in the leaves in autumn. Let's continue to move on. Here in this tree directly ahead of me, you can see that it is full of the keratin, or the shades of orange that we see in leaves in autumn. Let's get a closer look. Here's a better look at some keratin or orange leaves. Here are some anthocyanin, or red, and some xanthophyll, or yellow leaves. Here is a different type of anthocyanin, or red leaves. I wanted to share with you the view from this spot on the trail. I'll be sharing some other views and other interesting things that I found on this hike as we continue on this journey. Here's a better view of some xanthophyll, or the different shades of the color yellow that we see in leaves in autumn. I wanted to take a few moments to show you this amazing rock formation that I passed along the trail. As you can see, the rock of this formation is organized into several horizontal layers stacked on top of each other, and it's along these layers that the rock will break apart or erode in time. Beside the formation is a tree with some keratin or orange leaves, and as we continue around the tree, you will see a better vantage point of areas where the rock of this formation has broken off or eroded away. Now, also beside this rock formation, I found another interesting feature, and that is a miniature waterfall. Now, the water that is trickling down this miniature waterfall is continuing on its path to the lake here at Cumberland Mountain State Park. And I hope you guys will remember as you go and you're hiking around to stop and admire the natural beauty and not just rush through your trails as you're walking through, because you never know what you might find. Here is another panoramic view looking across the lake. Another nice vantage point. Here's another example of xanthophyll or yellow leaves. You may have noticed as we've been progressing along that some of the trees have white markings on them like this one. Now these are trail markers, and by keeping an eye out and following them, we can be sure that we are staying on the trail that we are hiking. On this trail, you will also find these in case of emergency markers, which will provide you with a specific location that you can give emergency personnel so that they can find you and help you more rapidly. The trail will soon take us to the other side of the water. Next to this emergency marker, you will see a sign. On this sign, there is a map as well as the name of the trail that we are currently hiking. On this map, you will see the layout, names, and distances of all the trails here at Cumberland Mountain State Park. We get to cross a swinging bridge on this section of the trail. I will stop briefly to show you the views from the center of the bridge. We are now on a more elevated section of the trail. We have now reached one of my favorite vantage points on this trail. Here's a better example of some anthocyanin leaves. If you look in the distance, you will see the paddleboat dock where we started our hike. This section of the trail takes you behind a few of the cabins available for rent here at the Cumberland Mountain State Park. We've now reached the end of the trail, but let's continue on down to the paddleboat docks. Okay, everyone. Well, we just finished up the hike. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Again, let me remind you that later on, I'll put the footage from the GoPro up on YouTube unedited. Well, at least unedited to the point to where it's going to be the real-time footage and not the sped-up version. Again, I'm going to just try to eliminate any other people that we're into and that kind of stuff. I won't have the same audio of what we're hearing as we're going around and, you know, on the actual hike. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Keep your eye out for our next Where is Mr. Brian video. I'll try to include at least one clue picture here before we go about where we have, because obviously if we're here in the fall, you know, how will this area be different when we hike the trail in the winter? So be thinking about that, and I will see you guys in the next video.